Back in the 2.0 video, I made a laundry list of predictions about Square Enix and the direction of the company under President Yosuke Matsuda, mentioning that it might be fun to revisit those predictions later to see where they landed. Let's do that now, because I'm surprised how I was simultaneously so right and so wrong. Prediction number 1. Final Fantasy XV was such a money pit that the requisite 10 million sales to break even were a pipe dream. They would do well just to stop the bleeding. The waters are pretty murky with this one because Hajime Tabata proclaimed the game had become profitable long before it sold 10 million copies. Moreover, the game only reached 10 million sales this very year, and that includes figures from sales where the game was practically given away. There are a lot of variables here we may never know, especially whether Tabata's break-even declaration includes development costs incurred by Tetsuya Nomura before Tabata took over the project. If the lifetime budget-to-revenue ratio is anywhere near 1-to-1, I would be shocked, but your mileage may vary as to my accuracy here. I wouldn't get mad at anyone for suggesting that I got this one wrong. Prediction number 2. Tokyo RPG Factory will be the centerpiece of Matsuda's idealized JRPG-centric Square Enix, going on to develop Final Fantasy XVI. Yeah, I'm going to take a fat L on this one. I Am Setsuna was a fine game and a good use of ATB 2.0, but the real star of the company's JRPG revival has been Tomoya Asano's studio, whose output has been what Tokyo RPG Factory aspired to, with a much higher standard of quality. Since the 2.0 video, Tokyo RPG Factory released Lost Sphere and Oninaki. Asano Studio released Octopath Traveler, Bravely Default 2, Triangle Strategy, and Various Daylife, with Octopath Traveler 2 in the wings, and both a Bravely Default remake and Bravely Third recently teased. They are not the same. Prediction number 3. Tokyo RPG Factory's sophomore effort would be announced no later than TGS 2016. Lost Sphere was announced May 2017, another L. The game was turned around remarkably fast, though, releasing that October. Prediction number 4. Hajime Tabata would finally get Final Fantasy Type 1 greenlit as a reward for saving Final Fantasy XV. Nope, Hajime Tabata would surprisingly get his departure greenlit instead. Prediction number 5. The relative performance of Final Fantasy XV and I Am Setsuna will inform the development of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Inconclusive. Although Final Fantasy VII Remake didn't end up being a remake in even the roundabout sense it was marketed as. To say more would go deep into spoiler territory, though. If 15 truly broke even and Setsuna did what it did, you could say that I got this one right, but not the way I intended it. Prediction number 6. Tokyo RPG Factory will make 1 or 2 outstanding stopgap titles, and possibly a Chrono Trigger remake, on the way to becoming the Final Fantasy XVI developer. Tokyo RPG Factory has made 2 games total, Lost Sphere and Oninaki, since I released that video. Their outstandingness is entirely open for debate. However, no Chrono Trigger remake was to be, and Creative Business Unit 3 is the developer for Final Fantasy XVI. Prediction number 7. Final Fantasy XVI will be ultra-traditional with an overarching theme of returning home from a long journey. Nope. Final Fantasy XVI is a full action RPG to the point that as of this recording, there are even real concerns about whether there will even be a party system. Prediction number 8. Classical JRPGs will experience a renaissance with or without Square Enix. This, right here, is why I am completely okay with being wrong about so much else. Atlas and Falcom alone could have carried the genre, but Square Enix came around in a big way that really makes good on Matsuda's vow years ago. Even though the mainline Final Fantasy series is probably lost at this point, seeing a pipeline full of lost gems of the past and new contributions alike to that classic legacy is a wonderful feeling. From the recent past to the foreseeable future, we have the Western debut of Live Alive, the first 3 Front Mission games, a Dragon Quest III remake in the image of Studio Asano, Various Daylife, Harvestella, Dragon Quest XII, a re-remake of the original Romancing Saga, Octopath Traveler 2, and a Diofield Chronicle, just off the top of my head. This is reminiscent of 2000, where Squaresoft bombarded us with Threads of Fate, Legend of Mana, Chrono Cross, Vagrant Story, and Final Fantasy IX one after another. It gets even crazier if you add Enix's output at the time, and yet current Square Enix still holds up to that ridiculously high standard. In other words, this is what true cultural restoration looks like. I would gladly be wrong 1,000 times over about how we get there to ultimately arrive at this kind of golden age. Well done, Yosuke Matsuda. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm Patrick Mifflin, sounding off.